Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to Module D, Lecture 1. In this lecture, I will give you an introduction to traffic control and management. The transportation world is changing. Doing business the way it was done in the past is no longer effective. Earlier times or traditionally, congestion and bottleneck issues were primarily addressed by funding projects. Say for example, these are mostly infrastructural augmentation projects, capital intensive as well. Say for example, adding lanes or building new interchanges or roads, and through those projects attempts were made to address the physical constraints. Expansion projects were primarily on traffic volumes predicted far out in the future. Horizon year, we used to have the traffic volume forecast, and based on that assess the infrastructural need and accordingly build new road, add lanes or develop new interchanges and so on. Operational improvement on the other hand were typically an afterthought and considered after the new infrastructure was already added to the system. You have the road in place, you have the augmentation already has happened, has been implemented, and then you are thinking about operational improvement once the infrastructure was already added to the system. Now, the world is again changing or has changed as well. Due to increased urbanization, transportation agencies are now facing trends that create a growing demand for travel. Huge urbanization is happening, especially emerging nations or developing worlds. Lot of urbanization is happening. We have population growth happening in urban area probably at the fastest rate under the current scenario, and therefore, altogether even the transport demand is growing. The vehicle ownership is also growing, but with less space to work with. So, we can no longer build our way out of congestion. To explain this, why, what are the real reasons? Let us discuss a few salient points. First, limited funds. The financial constraints for public agencies have increased. Fund is no longer easily available. You have limited resource, limited fund. So, very judiciously one has to invest that money. Of course, infrastructural augmentation will happen. Road infrastructure augmentation also will happen. It is the need nationally, it is required actually to invest and augment infrastructure, but understand that the availability of finance is not so easy anymore. Also, the cost to build roads and bridges has increased. Even 10 years back, what used to be the cost for building road per kilometer, under the present scenario, these days if you consider, the cost is significantly increased. So, one way resource available is limited, the other way the cost has increased. Along with the limited funds, which I have not mentioned, I will also like to say that there are physical constraints, a very, very important context, especially considering countries like India. You do not have land for augmentation of infrastructure. Urban areas, hardly anything you can do, because there is no land. So, simple, it is not only the limited fund, but there are tremendous physical constraints in terms of augmentation of road capacity or road infrastructure. Rural areas also, several highway projects are suffering simply because the land is not available. So, even if the money is there, it is difficult to build it because you do not have land. ROW is so restricted and land acquisition is becoming increasingly challenging and difficult task. Second, due to advances in technologies, say for availability of smartphone, GPS, everybody has got a smartphone, GPS is there, they can track, they can see, they can estimate the time, availability of mobility services like Ola, Uber, you give a call, people, you book a taxi and the vehicle is there right at the place where you want, and also the information availability. And due to all these things, traveler expect products and technologies they encounter also will be smart and will eventually improve their travel experience. People are not happy, the expectation has changed. It is not just I am able to travel from point A to point B, but how I am able to travel, how comfortably, how conveniently I am able to travel, that matters. So, expectation also has increased, people expect the smart encounter, whatever they encounter will also be smart, and therefore, through those their travel experience will be improved. They want to be informed, they want to know everything, how is the traffic state, what route I should take, what is the traffic condition and the current scenario, whether there are incidents, whether there are other kinds of blockage due to some other reasons. Changing customer needs and expectation. Travelers are these days altogether, because of maybe there are impact of the technology availability also, less tolerant towards unexpected delay in their trips that can result from crashes, from bad weather, work zone or even special event. As I say, the overall expectation has changed. It is not that we are reaching late, but anyhow I am able to reach, but people are not happy with that, no more happy with that. So, they are less tolerant towards unexpected delay due to various reasons. Such delays can be frustrating to drivers and the road users, I will say, or the vehicle users, and also may impact their business. So, they are worried, they want to reach on time, they want to know how much time it will take to reach. So, overall less tolerant towards unexpected delay. Traveler expect to reach the destination on time regardless of the mode of travel or who owns the route. In urban areas, there is an additional expectation for multimodal options and connectivities. They expect that not like in rural transportation scenario, but in urban case they also expect the multimodal options to be available. They want people to get good walkway, good connectivity, one mode to another mode, one same mode, maybe one mode of transport, one bus route to another bus route or one mode to another mode, right. The facility, the transfer facility, the infrastructure, the overall multimodal options and connectivity. Also, better understanding of the causes of congestion. Congestion, as you know, may be caused typically due to recurring, or congestion could be recurring in nature. For example, every morning and evening, during the peak hour or rush hour, the demand is very high as compared to the capacity. So, every day, every weekday or work day, during the peak hour, the congestion will occur. But at the same time, road capacity is lost or congestions do occur due to non-recurring events. For example, somewhere there is a crash or a breakdown of vehicle or work is happening or due to bad weather and somewhere the water accumulation has happened and such kind of factors. So, considering all these reasons, for example, what I said, limitation of funds, physical constraints of augmenting infrastructure, which I have not mentioned, but I am repeatedly mentioning it, advances in technology, changing customer needs and expectation, better understanding of the cause of congestion, and with all these, a different philosophy and approach is needed today to address congestion issues and to enhance operational efficiency. So, addressing congestion requires transportation professionals to seek out solutions that involve optimizing the performance of our existing facilities. This was traditionally not the need, not the requirement also. So, now the efficiency, how we optimize, how we offer a better performance within the available infrastructure and facilities to cope up with the growing demand. So, the transportation system management and operations provides agencies with the tools to manage and operate what they already own, only with those, not just by building more and more roads or additional infrastructure. What they already own, with those how they can manage and operate what they already own to bring more efficiency and therefore, effectively addressing the transport related issues. So, how to bring efficiency even without additional infrastructure, or rather with what already we have. What already we have, how using those things in a better way, in an optimal manner, how we can improve the performance, how we satisfy the expectation, how we fulfill the objectives, starting from environment to energy to user expectation to everything. TSMO can also be expressed as traffic management measures. With this, let us go to what is traffic management then. It is the application of management principles and practices for what? To optimize, very carefully, to optimize the use of existing road network or facilities in general to improve traffic flow and road safety without impairing environmental quality. That means, we want to apply through traffic management, we want to apply actually management principles and practices to optimize the use of existing facilities and infrastructure, to offer better traffic flow, higher safety and protecting the environmental aspect. Traffic management solutions, because these are not capital intensive projects we are talking about, but we are talking about principles and practices to optimize the use of the existing facilities. So, they are not capital intensive and therefore, these solutions cost less than the road expansion project or typical infrastructure projects, but they are still able to bring high return on investment, because the investment is not so high as these are not capital intensive project, but the return is high. So, you can actually get high return on investment if you are applying traffic management techniques. It can target the unexpected delays, it can reduce the impacts of such kind of delays on the overall transportation system and regain much of the lost capacity. So, it is quite effective. There are multiple benefits of traffic management. Say for example, smoother and more reliable traffic flow condition, reduction of congestion in general, improved operating condition for road based public transport, improved access to commercial, retail and recreational activities, real time traveler information for road user. People expect, yes, there maybe even if there is an accident, I want to know, or incident, I want to know how much time still it will take for me to travel. I want to get informed. I want to even know that there is an incident. This kind of expectation can be fulfilled. Enhanced safety of a route or area as well as improved safety, mobility and accessibility for children, pedestrians, cyclists, improved road freight productivity and safety, more efficient use of resources. That is what is basically the whole objective. The how without building or without taking up capital intensive infrastructure project, how applying policies and measures or actions which do not require infrastructural augmentation, but how we can make better use of the existing resources to bring operational efficiencies in terms of reducing congestion, enhancing safety, fulfilling users' expectations, but protecting environment. Okay? So, all these objectives how we can satisfy. Traffic management actions may be applicable or should be applied for urban, suburban and even rural areas. While traffic management measures can be very beneficial to urban areas because the complexity there is more. I say the urban scenario in developing countries or emerging nations is really very complex. Demand supply imbalance is high, constraints are much more, requirements are also higher. So, the complexity is much more simply. So, obviously, traffic management measures can be very beneficial to urban areas and therefore, it is required there, but it is equally needed for the suburban area. And in countries like India, the peri-urban, what we can call peri-urban, suburban or peri-urban, they are the more problematic areas because expansion has happened in terms of population growth, housing, but the other infrastructure and facilities have not been developed. Road is still narrow, drainage system is still not the modern one, right? Maintenance is not good, but people have started building houses, multi-storieds are there, people want to use car, no road, but they want to use car and then there is no facilities for the pedestrians to walk or bicyclists to use bicycle safely, all such kind of contradictions are there. So, while in some cases in suburban areas, travelers may not experience congestion or other problem, but in other areas they experience such kind of issues. They have limited travel alternative, there are road safety issues, there are operational issues. So, there also we need to apply traffic management. So, when proactively applied, traffic can be actively managed and capacity preserved regardless of the level of operation of a facility. Rural regions in general do not experience recurring congestion. Rarely the demand will be more than the capacity, as normally it happens in urban area or suburban area or peri-urban areas. But rural areas also people may encounter severe congestion by incidents or because of the work zone. We do not see the congestion, but if the highway or the motorway is blocked for even 10-15 minutes or so, you can see the amount of vehicle which will get accumulated, the length of the queue which will be formed. Then you can understand how severe the impact could be. Recreational and seasonal travel and occasional special event such as festivals can also generate a significant amount of traffic and thereby may cause imbalance between the demand and supply to create externalities such as congestion, vehicular emission, safety issues. So, in those cases also the traffic management measures might be very helpful. So, traffic management is not a practice that only applies to route with high traffic. This is very important. Everywhere we may take advantage or we may bring benefit out of the application of traffic management techniques in all areas, as I said, urban, suburban, rural, low traffic volume scenario, high traffic volume scenario. So, do not think that traffic management needs to be applied only when there is high traffic volume. That is not true. The number of vehicles on the system does not impact the overall need for traffic management, because traffic management may be our highways may not have that much traffic, not like urban case, but still there are significant operational issues, there are significant safety issues which all can be addressed to a large extent, I should say, using suitable traffic management measures. So, there lies the role, that is where the strength of the traffic management. Of course, as I said, there are several benefits and it can really help to improve or to address the concerns related to traffic in urban, suburban. In our cases, I added the peri-urban as well, and also rural areas. There are limitations as well, that also we need to understand. For example, one important issue is the traffic generation. As you improve the facility, increase the operational efficiency, you may find that more and more vehicles will get attracted, and because of the larger volume, again the congestion may aggravate and total emissions may even increase. Second, the technical capabilities. Good traffic management requires effective planning, implementation and enforcement skill, which tend to be in short supply, especially in developing and emerging nations. India is an example also, because you need the complete holistic approach, effective planning, implementation, enforcement. So, if you do everything, it is not like you do something and leave it, everything will work. No, you have to enforce it. If you have to implement it, then also the understanding is required, right. So, everything has to be synchronized, your planning, your implementation, your enforcement, it is like a team game. All together you can get or make a big difference. So, their technical capabilities or the capacity building issue may be there. You need continued commitment. Traffic management is not a guarantee one shot cure for traffic congestion, not that you do something today and leave it forever the problem will be solved. No, it cannot happen. Whatever you are doing today, it will improve the scenario today definitely. Of course, it will also have a long term impact. Do something to solve current problem, but also think about the future. So, for example, I will say that kind of mistake should not be done. So, the interpretation should be taken in right spirit. For example, people have traditionally over years, the traffic motorized vehicle volume is high, so they cut the footpath to ease congestion. That only gives you a temporary benefit for some days or some months or maybe 1 or 2 years, that may help, but eventually you will find that again it will become congested. The intersection area or the particular location will again become a problem. And over years you start cutting the footpath, you only take away the facility for pedestrian and you have city roads, no facility for pedestrians to walk, but you have not been able to solve the congestion problem as well for the motorized vehicle. Such kind of actions, no. So, if you are thinking today, also you should understand the implication, long term implication, that has to be there. But what I am trying to say here, that it is a continuous process. You do something today, tomorrow the land use may change, tomorrow further improvement demand may grow up, technology implication may even change the expectation. So, you have to continuously upgrade. Infrastructure augmentation also has to happen, traffic management also has to evolve, more and more advanced things you have to implement as required. So, what I am saying, do not think it is one time thing. I have done something and then I will go and sleep, that you cannot do, right. So, even if when you are taking actions, thinking the long term implications, then also you have to accept that you have to be vigilant. After some interval, on a regular basis, you have to check whether anything new has come up, any change in the road environment, any change in the local perspective, global perspective, anything has happened which require further action, and then appropriate actions are to be taken in a time bound manner. That is I am saying, therefore, you need some kind of continued commitment. So, it needs constant adjustment and enforcement to be effective. Conflict of interest, how to make the things happen in reality, because you want to do something, it may benefit the larger society, but sometimes it may also have some negative impact on some stakeholders or some groups. So, that conflict of interest, how we are able to handle. So, conflict of interest may occur between jurisdictions competing for business. Say for example, if you are restraining the parking, that may add actually benefit to the moving traffic streams. The congestion may reduce, the overall the traffic scenario may increase, but that may adversely affect the discourage or adversely affect the trade in that area. Maybe because of that reason people cannot stop or people cannot park in that area, people will be less and less attracted to those shops and establishments. They start thinking of going to another place where they can park the vehicle comfortably and go to the shop or establishments. Such kind of things may happen. You may actually convert it to a road to one-way streets to gain in terms of capacity and operational efficiency, but that may be for people who are residing in these areas. To some of them that may be extremely inconvenient, because they want to go in the other direction even a short distance, probably a big derouting they have to do. So, in overall sense still maybe it will be good for the society, but there could be conflicts of interest, because not to everybody it will be equally beneficial. To some people it will be even detrimental also, or may affect their business, and therefore, the conflicts of interest may come. So, you have to understand that. Now, coming to then what are the different strategies? Some specific strategies are mentioned below. I have mentioned here there are so many things. Actually, traffic management is really a vast area, very simple thing to the modern day most advanced traffic control, where everything you are getting on a real time basis, you are getting the data from sensors, from heterogeneous data sources, to applying AI, artificial intelligence, machine learnings, and all other kinds of advanced algorithms and techniques to solve or to control traffic on a real time basis. So, it is a big range, but some of the strategies, particularly 4 very important things that I am going to discuss in this module, and they will be the 4 subsequent lectures actually. Access management, demand management, transit priority measures, and emerging traffic management measures. So, basically the last one I have put together, what are the advanced things that are happening and the kind of future direction. Not in very lot of elaboration I will not be able to do, but within one lecture I will try to cover whatever maximum I can do. Now, a little bit introduction to about this all 4 strategies. Access management refers to design, application and control of entry exit points along a roadway, which may include intersections with other roads, and also simply the driveways that serve the adjacent properties. You have buildings, you have establishments, they need access, or it could be some another road meeting, creating a proper intersection or junction. Thoughtful access management is necessary, very important, because they can simultaneously enhance the safety for all modes, facilities, maybe walking, biking, also may reduce trip delay and congestion. And this is one very, very important aspect. If you see in whole country in India, we are building roads, but this is one major issue we have not been able to solve the way it was required to be solved. We have built our highways, but we have not been able to control the access. So, the accessibility mobility conflict is happening everywhere, and you will find that is bringing down the operational efficiency, and so many accidents, so many road fatalities. I should not call it accident, rather I should call crashes, so many crashes and resulting fatalities. So, the access management is a big area and very much part of the traffic management. Second, demand management. The how to make best use of the existing facilities also include how I can do better management of the demand. Not only the control part of it, not only the control part of course is included under traffic management, signalization to access management, to which one to connect, where the connection should not be given directly, all this, but also our basic objective is how to make best use of the available resources. So, the demand management is also part of the traffic management. This may include strategies that increase the overall system efficiency by encouraging a shift from the single occupant vehicle to non-SOV mode, that means which are not single occupant modes, or shifting auto trips, auto in this case is private vehicles, out of peak periods. So, if we can do some strategies, some measures, if I can promote the vehicles which are not SOV, not single occupancy vehicle, right, then number of vehicles may get reduced, people may get encouraged to use non-SOV modes, may use bus, other kinds of public transport, or if I can discourage people to use car during the peak period, then with the better demand management, I am also able to increase the operational efficiency. So, examples may include improved transportation options. So, better infrastructure and safe facilities for cycling and walking, transit and ride sharing, how to promote incentives to use alternative modes and reduce driving, for example, telework and flexible work schemes, road and parking pricing. Pricing is very, very interesting because it's an instrument for demand management. Overall parking management, all this may come. So, several things which are related to demand management are very important, and all these are very much again part of traffic management. Third, transit priority methods, again linked with the demand management. We have to promote transit, because then that higher transit uses mean lesser vehicle and lesser problem. If less number of vehicles, we are able to carry the same number of people using less number of vehicle, then my congestion problem is solved, my emission problem is reduced, right. So, so many energy aspect also I am able to address effectively. So, a range of techniques designed to increase the speed of transit vehicles, for example, buses along roads with more consistent travel time and improved quality. Such kind of priority measures may include physical improvement, operating changes and or regulatory changes. There are numerous benefits, include reduction in delay, decrease in emission and all such kind of benefit as I just mentioned. So, this is again part of traffic management. Last but not the least, everything together, the way we are now moving towards the future, emerging traffic management measures. Most of these include use of automatic and intelligent systems to manage traffic flow, reduce accident, reduce congestion and bring overall benefit to the larger society. Sensor loops are placed in roadways to monitor roadway activity and observe real time traffic. Of course, we may use heterogeneous data sources also, somewhere video camera, somewhere other kinds of embedded sensor, somewhere maybe people sharing information about the congestion, all this could be there, right, and trying to assess the real state. At this time, what is the most likely state of the network, and accordingly trying to formulate actions, right. While computer system links with variable message sign are used to reset speed limits on the system in advance of accidents and bottlenecks locations. So, multiple type of things, we can set the speed limit accordingly, we can change the traffic lights accordingly, make the whole management responsive to the actual scenario. So, these are again very much part of the traffic management or traffic control, real time traffic control. So, altogether what we discussed today is why we need to focus on traffic management, and then what are the benefits where we apply. To remind you, we said that we need to apply it in urban area definitely, that is where it is definitely required, but it is also required and beneficial for suburban and rural areas. We need not get guided that always where the demand or the traffic flow is high, there only we need traffic management. That is not true. We need in every scenario. What are the potential limitations that we must bear in mind, and the broad 4 traffic management strategies what we are going to discuss in the next 4 lectures. So, with this I close this lecture. Thank you so much.